I thought that I knew everything. I got no result. Fast forward to now, I'm running an agency where we're talking about if we don't make 100 grand in December next month, then something's going wrong.
But now you switch from hopes and prayers to data and making real and good decisions based on numbers.
I have 4 months worth of data on how my ICP operates. Let me change my marketing. We have one offer, we are doing this thing for you, and it works.
And if you believe in this in yourself, if you do the right things and if you show up, it can happen pretty quickly.
This week on Tuesday, we had our biggest day so far. Our clients turned over 32,000 GBP. That was like $13,000-$14,000 in a day. You want to make more sales, ask more people to buy your thing.
You are really good at finding patterns in your client's business. One of the biggest challenges people have is that
you were that guy in school which no one ever listened to. We must have spoken for weeks on end about I was very, very bad at sales.
It's the best way to make money is by helping others make a lot of money. What do you feel is the best advice for either coaches, consultants, or someone who want to start a business, who really want to get to where you are right now?
Although it is often uncomfortable in the time, if you don't take the step to...
Hey guys, welcome to this unscripted interview. I like to call it a podcast with one of my good friends, Joseph. He's been a client, but now he's a friend. And the reason why we wanted to make this video is simply just because we want to share our best advice, and Joseph could share, his learnings, his journey, what's been going on, and the business that he has. So if you're a coach or a consultant, you want to scale your business and you're tired of complex systems and you want to build something that is scalable, predictable, and also pretty fun, you might want to stick around and see what's going on, because this is not a polished video where we say everything that is perfect and you really want to hear. It's basically just a raw conversation where we dive into everything that you might want to hear and need to hear to scale your business. So obviously, bro, I know you because we've been working together and you're a friend of mine. But for the people who don't know you, can you please give an introduction to who you are and what you're doing?
Yeah, of course. So I am an accountant by trade. I left school and I got a job as an accountant, and I was doing that for about 2 years. And I was seeing all these guys making money online, and I was just jealous, and I wanted to be one. I wanted to be there. I wanted to have the freedom. It was really a
Yeah,
freedom thing for me. And I had tried to set up my own agency, and I thought that I knew everything. I thought that I had watched all the YouTube videos and I had paid all, these guys for whatever course. And I really feel like I understood like the science of business, but I really, I got no results. We were making pretty much no money.
yeah,
I was working with AI, and I knew I liked data from my time as an accountant, and just trying to mix those two things together about how can we collect data. But I had the gold rush of trying to set up an AI agency at the same time, and I really no idea what I was doing. I think we had one or two clients. We made the odd $1,000 or $2,000 this month, the odd 1,000 or 2,000 that month. And fast forward to now, um, I'm running an agency where we're talking about if we don't make 100 grand in December next month, then something's going wrong. And I think that
yeah.
transformation of going, where's my next client? We've only made 1 grand, 2 grand, to if we don't make 100 grand next month, something has gone wrong and we need to have a big conversation. That in a scale of what, 4 months is ridiculous. And I think that transformation
Yeah.
is insane. Now working with, what I like to call a marketing and sales agency, handling the marketing and the sales, but everything is backed by data. I don't like any wishy-washy
Yeah.
decisions. It's we use data, to decide what we want. If we can collect as much data about your ideal client and then change your marketing, change your sales, boom, there we go. So that's a little bit about me, and that's kind of where I am, where I have been.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, bro. Especially because when you came to me, I remember that you had a job and you wanted to leave the 9 to 5 job and you want to start your own thing and go all in on the business. And now, when we're speaking, I've already said that to you, but you also sound like someone that is actually making 100K. How the words you use, how you pronounce everything in the business, how everything is delegated, all the systems. But when we started together, it was so much more about feelings. Oh, I feel we should do this. I think this is the right thing. But now you switch from hopes and prayers to data and making real and good decisions based on numbers because numbers don't lie. So it's crazy to think in 4 months you went from not really having a business to now you're almost going to be disappointed if you don't make 100K in December. And that is, it's crazy, but it's also just a result of going all in and and taking massive action. And if you believe in this in yourself, if you do the right things and if you show up, it can happen pretty quickly. So that's really really cool. um Obviously it's not December yet, it's November. So how much money are you making right now, bro?
Um, Good question. We did 23,000 British pounds in October. So that's about, what's that, 28k
Yeah,
USD, 30k USD around there.
yeah,
In October, that's what we did in October. Already so far this month, last week, this week, sorry, on Tuesday, we had our biggest day so far. Our clients turned over 32,000 GBP, and we take a revenue share of that of about anywhere from 20 to 25%. So that was like an 8k day for us, which is insane. And that's GBP, so that's
yeah,
about what, 13, $14,000 in a day through client revenue
yeah,
into our account, which is ridiculous. Bear in mind that I was sending like 100 outreach messages a day to try and scrape like a $500 client, and now I'm looking at like an 8k day. Um, so yeah,
yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy when you have the right system and you take massive action. But for the people who don't know the actual journey, can you please take us back, bro? How was your situation like before we worked together? You mentioned that you wanted to go all in. It was a little bit about hopes and prayers, but what do you feel like what was the biggest challenge for you before we started?
Great question. I think I was taking, I'd like to put it down to shiny object syndrome. I think every day or every other day, I had this new idea or this new thing I wanted to do, this new offer, this new track. And I knew I had skills, but I wasn't monetizing those skills. So I think the most important thing we did on like day one was offer. And it sounds stupid and it sounds silly, but what are you actually offering? And I think for about 3, even 4 weeks, we just sat down and spoke about what are you offering? How can you best position your offer? If you are sat in front of your ideal client, what do they actually want? Like, stop trying to solve a problem that you think they have and solve a problem they actually have. And then obviously this
Yeah,
develops into, oh, okay, this is crazy. We have something here. We're collecting loads of data, and we can start looking at their marketing. To me, I was just thinking, we're going to be a data collection agency and help people. No, it was, well, if you understand the data, then you can start helping them with marketing and start helping them with sales, and stacking up these skills on top of each other and learning these
yes.
skills offering it, this is what completely changed for us to just understand we have one offer, we are doing this thing for you, and it works. And when we have that conviction, that to me was the first thing we did, and that to me was what kind of changed everything and got us on that upwards trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember when we started, you have a data agency. Um, I knew you were really good at automation, AI. So when we started, we looked at the foundation of your business, what you're really good at, and what you find the most joy in. We started with data because everything is about data when you want to build a business. And if you could use the right data, if you could also track the right emotions people had, we spoke about this, bro. In marketing, if you could track, like, let's just say a number, 89% of our clients have these emotions, we can tap into these emotions in the marketing and the ads, which will convert into more sales later on. And that's really what started. So you transition from being just data and delivering the data to having the data in your own business, but also developing marketing, ecosystems, content, funnels, and of course, building a sales team. So it seems like you became full circle with what you do.
Yeah, and it feels weird to say, but I think it's getting a strong base of all those super important skills and then being able to choose, am I going to outsource? Like, am I going to do it myself? What I need to do myself, and then separating responsibilities. And to me, just to go back to that data point, it was, we were collecting data, but almost for hopes and dreams. It was one conversation we had and went,
Yeah,
Joe, you're collecting all this data and these numbers about, say, for sales teams, like how many messages they'd sent or their KPIs in the day. But what if you just stuck a question on and went, how do they feel? How are they doing? And as soon as you start doing that, you can start to see how they feel. And then if you want to pick, when it comes to you want to pitch your client again or you want to upsell, well, you know exactly how they felt or what they've done for 4 months worth of data. So when you want to get on that call at the end to
yeah,
upsell them, like it's the easiest thing in the world. So being able to pitch our clients on that, just that outcome of going, well, you can increase your LTV because you can pitch your clients, you can upsell them because you know how you feel. But your clients are your ICP. So then you can change your marketing to understand, like, I have 4 months worth of data on how my ICP operates. Let me change my marketing. Instead of going, I think my ICP feels this, or I think they act like this. No, I know for a fact they actually act like this. I know for a fact that
yeah,
they feel this on the daily. So if I put out a post saying, I know you feel like this, or um, your content is not getting any views, for an example, because you're bad at content. No, it's like you were that guy in school, which no one ever listened to. It's like, oh, whoa. And you can go so deep with them because you've taken this data. And then I've seen it
yeah.
for my clients. Just their content has been able to change, their marketing has been able to change just off picking up this. And I think just off a few conversations we had and just going deeper and actually understanding the art of the business instead of just the science behind it was, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what you are really good at, bro, is that you are really good at finding patterns in your client's business. Because I remember when we spoke, you're really good at just observing what's happening and not make a decision until you have enough data. And I think that that's one of the biggest reasons why you are about to make 100K. The reason why you know you're about to make 100K, it's not because you hope and pray. You literally, it seems like you have data on everything that's going on in your client's business that allows you to predictably tell how much money you're going to make in the future. That is absolutely crazy. And a lot of coaches and consultants, when they start out, the absolute dream is to predictably be able to say, okay, in 4 months from now, we're going to make this based on these numbers. And that's what you're really good at. So looking back at the partnership we had for the past 4 months, what was the journey and the systems we slowly implemented in your business that allowed you to predictably make 100K very soon?
I think, as I said before, we started with the offer, which is the most important thing. If you don't have an offer, then you don't have something to sell. And it goes back to stacking those skills. It's okay, we have an offer, right? Now, how do we get clients in the door? Okay, well, I probably need to do some sales and marketing. So it was, okay, the next time we spoke, we sat there and we went, okay, how do we send an outreach message? Like, I thought I knew how and I had these techniques, but not really. And, I had a bit of a mental block, which is, I think it was a great conversation we had. I joined the call and I said, I have this anxiety towards sending these sales messages, and I just didn't really want to do it. I didn't really like the follow-ups. I was just changing that mindset of, you want to make more sales, ask more people to buy your thing. And, so we stacked that skill of outreach on top, and then we practiced, we iterated, we actually went through conversations I had, and then we stacked the skill of, okay, how do we actually do marketing on Instagram and LinkedIn, using your AIs and everything and the playbook? How do we actually do marketing? Okay, content. I need to get in front of a camera. I started posting my first reels. What does my profile need to look like? So we went through, we pulled up my profile and we tore it apart. And it was great. It was one of the best things we did. So we went, okay, right. I have an offer. I now have a profile, which a profile is basically a landing page. I can start posting some content. I know what to do on, LinkedIn. I've picked up hundreds and hundreds of followers on there. On Instagram, I now have a decent page putting out content that meant something. It's tying in the data, but also there's things behind it you don't really realize about how to script, how to speak, where to sit. Like, I remember sending you videos like, is this angle good enough? And it was those little things. But then, okay, we have an offer, we have traffic, but how do you sell? We must have spoken for weeks on end about, I was very, very bad at sales. And to me, stacking that skill on top was probably one of the things which enabled me to go further. Just, I had the traffic. I knew how to get people on a call now because there was people coming in. I was getting people on a call. I just wasn't selling them because I just wasn't very good at it, or I was being too nice. And it was getting to the point of the call where it was the close and I just wasn't getting there. So we then stacked that skill of sales on top. So we went through literally on a call, we did a role play, which felt weird, but it was so important of just going, okay, this is my discovery phase. This is my this literally how to start a call. Because once you get through those first 30 seconds, you kind of all right. And you sent me a, not a script, but like a sales call framework and just went, Joe, memorize this. And
Yeah.
we went kind of week on week, and it was just, I was able to memorize this framework of what to say next. And then a week after that, I was like, oh, I got my first 5K sale on a sales call. Oh, the week after that, I got the next one. And then I got the next one after we'd stacked and stacked. So the transformation was, what is the bottleneck? Let me not solve a random problem. Okay, the bottleneck is the offer. The bottleneck is the content, is the traffic, it's the marketing. Now it's the sales.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it got to the bottleneck is fulfillment and how do I use my time? So yeah, it's been incredible to go through that journey and, get to the end where it's like, okay, well, the bottleneck is actually me. How do I structure my day? How do I structure my business better? And yeah, no, I think that transformation of almost everything has been, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to dive into that because it's very important to say when you scale a business and when you solve one of your biggest bottlenecks in the business, it's not like everything is fine from now. Because when you solve a problem, a new one appears. It's the exact same thing in business. So when we fixed the offer, the next issue was the landing page. How can we actually get people to answer the DMs? Okay, maybe we need to build an Instagram that is worth following, that is worth answering in the DMs. So we did that. Okay, cool. How do we get them on the call? Nice. When we fix that, okay, how can we make them buy? Maybe we need to have the right structure in the sales call, so you know exactly how to identify the biggest problem and how to present the right solution for them, so they feel like it's their best idea to invest in you to solve their biggest problem. Then you ended up, how many clients did you end up having?
I think at our peak we had 16 clients.
Yeah, it's crazy. So now the, as you say, that the biggest bottleneck was fulfillment. How can we actually deliver results for all of the clients? And that's exactly why you're gonna make 100K in the next couple months, because now you have the clients. You spend a couple months building the foundation, and now things are starting to take off. You make $14,000 in a day just because your clients are winning, which is fantastic. It's the best way to make money is by helping others make a lot of money. So that is really, really powerful. How we went through the different bottlenecks. Can you tell me more about, because when it comes to fulfillment, we only have 24 hours a day, and you wanted to operate like someone who's making 100K a month, because then it's going to happen. So what do you feel has been maybe an underrated aspect for others, but has been so influential for you, so you have more time, but also are able to deliver better results?
Good question. I think the answer is weirdly simple, and it's just it was a bit of an ego issue. I think I wanted to do everything in my business, and I wanted to be a part of the sales infrastructure, and I wanted to be part of for my clients, I wanted to help them with this, and I wanted to help them with marketing, I wanted to help them with content. But that's because in my head, I just wanted to be involved. But the ability to take a step back and go, no, I have people, I have a team, I have one of my business partners in the sales infrastructure. I have someone who is awesome at content. Let me focus on what I am very good at. And as soon as I started doing that, well, it, it's leverage. If you spend 5, 10, 12 hours a day on the one thing you're ridiculously good at and ignore everything else, and it's hard, but just taking your emotional energy out of doing those tasks, which you don't need to do, you just are almost emotionally attached to it because you don't want to give it up. When I started doing that, that's just when we started to boom going. This is my job title and this is what I do. This is your job title. This is what you do. You are responsible for X, Y, Z. I think that on a
Yeah.
fulfillment basis was ridiculous. But also the ability to go like, are we delivering the best impact to this client? Now, this was the hardest thing, just being able to go, this client is not paying us enough for the work we're doing, and just dropping them. It sounds a bit brutal, but just going, no, we don't want to work with you anymore. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that was a great one for us. Like just going, you know what, you paid us $500-600, maybe $1,000 last month. No, and freeing up our time. It's hard because you get so emotionally attached to, you want more clients, you want more this, but I'd rather spend 100 hours a week on one client than 10 hours a week on 10 clients. That's going to deliver me less money.
Yes, exactly. And it's the perfect example in your case where 20% of your clients are making you 80% of your revenue. Because it's not about more clients, it's not just about more revenue. What's really important is having the right clients. Because if you can spend more quality hours on the right clients, you're going to 10x your business. And you wanted to make around 10K a month. Now you're around about to make 100K a month simply just by outsourcing and letting others do what they enjoy and what they're really good at, so you can focus all day on what you really enjoy and what you're really good at. Because passion and expertise trumps everything. If you think it's like very joyful to do, and if you're really good at it, then it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like it's just energy, and energy sells. And energy is exactly what you need to get to the higher level. So besides from making more money, is there anything else you feel like has been like yeah, but what do you feel like has been the most underrated result, but now is the one of the most influential things in your life when it comes to like the outcome of making more money and having the right system?
Well, when I was in my job, I've always been known as a very bubbly and positive guy, just very outgoing. But those last few months in my job, I just wasn't. I hated it. I was going in. It was a great job. It was a very well paying job with a amazing career track, and so many people would be so jealous of it. But I just hated it, and I was so down, and I just wasn't seeing my girlfriend, and I wasn't didn't want to see my family, and I didn't see any of my friends just because I was so sad and I just hated it. But the ability to focus on something that you love so much and you enjoy with everything you have and just do that all day, every day, to lock in, as you say, all the time. And that's amazing. Like, what I worked 40-hour weeks for them, and it was so hard. And now I do consistent 50, 60-hour
Yeah.
weeks, and I have the biggest smile on my face, and I love it. So just to be able to actually love what I do, it's not just that it's mine, but because I do it with awesome people around me, I do it in my own time. Like, yeah, it's no, I think the most underrated thing, to answer your question, is that control and that freedom of my time, and being so grateful that 6 months ago, 12 months ago, I would have killed to be in this position right now. Like, how dare I wake up in a
Yeah.
bad mood? It would just be stupid of me.
Yeah, exactly. I really like what you say there, because one of the biggest challenges people have is that they live a double life. They operate like person A, but they feel like person B. So they do not align with who they are, and their business does not align with their personality. But I think it's very important that you could have what I call a lifestyle business, basically, where your business is your lifestyle. Everything is aligned. And it seems like you have found your alignment where you really like what you do. Because business should be fun. You're building cool businesses with awesome people who share the same vision as you. I think it's one of the most coolest things like you can ever do. I think that that's why I'm also in business, because it's so important that we do something we love. We're gonna spend a lot of time building it. There's gonna be ups and downs, but if you genuinely love what you do and you're passionate about it, it's so much easier to go through the dark periods and push through. Uh, and it's just gonna be so much easier to be consistent, and consistently showing up and do the work. And I think that's also why you're here, on your way, literally about to make 100K every single month. That's crazy. But yeah, bro. Besides from making 100K, what other goals? What is the next goal for you, for your business and your life? I know you just moved to Manchester. You're probably gonna stay there for some time. But what else? What is the goal for you the next 12 months?
Well, outside of business, I also referee rugby semi-professionally. So to me, if I was able to get to that professional level, like I do sometimes 3, 4 games a week, and I love that. And having a business which pays me has enabled me to do that. I can, like, yesterday, I took 6 hours off work to go referee a game on a random Wednesday. And I think having that freedom to pursue my goal is just amazing. So, I mean, to me, that's a goal, to get as far as I can with refereeing. And I mean, travel more. Like, for the last 2 years, I've traveled somewhere once a month, and just to be able to continue doing that, just go see more places. Already we're looking
Yeah,
at going and getting a big villa for a month in Italy in February with the team. So it's probably going to be about six of us renting a villa down there, which is going to be just insane. Lock it in with the guys for a
truly
month in Italy, so that'll be very good.
awesome.
And
Is it just like a company trip?
yes, yes,
Awesome. It's perfect for grind.
yeah. No, I'm very excited. I think it'll also be very good for content too. We're going to bring a videographer down. But no, I'm very excited for that. That'll be good fun.
Yeah, there's so many options and opportunities once you get past 10K a month. You talk about hiring a videographer because it brings you, yeah, great content, and it builds more trust, more credibility. You get more leverage. You can compound your personal brand. So I like how smart you are with now you make money. How old are you, bro? Just for context.
I'm 20.
You're 20 years old. I'm 24. So people on our age, let's say they make 100K. People dream about winning the lottery. Oh, I want to make 100K a month. I want to be a millionaire. Um, but what they're really saying is that they want to buy expensive liabilities that doesn't bring them any money. So they want to spend 1 million. You're going to invest, yes, in a company trip to Italy. You're going to hire a videographer, but you also know what it's worth. You can get high quality content in nice environments. You invest in your team. Um, you guys will be even closer. You have a better relationship, a better partnership, and you can probably brainstorm the next big thing in your business. So you're already investing the money and the results into compounding it even more. That's really really good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an accountant by trade, so, and it just goes back to data. Like, if an investment decision if it doesn't have a direct ROI, return on investment, then I'm just not going to pay for it. So, it's quite simple. And I think using that money, they always say it's easier to make 1 million when you've got 100 grand, but it's very difficult to make 100 grand when you have 1,000.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So once you have money, you can use money to make more money. Um, Speaking of that, looking back on the journey from when you started making around £1,000 every single month to now making around about to make £100,000 a month. What do you feel is the best advice for either coaches, consultants, or someone who want to start a business who really want to get to where you are right now?
I think, although it is often uncomfortable in the time, if you don't take the step to invest in yourself, then you will never get there. I think that investment in yourself, even if you don't have the money, like, I think if you find the right person, and there's just pretty much an infinite ROI on that, even if it's just keeping you accountable. Hey, all the knowledge in the world is out there. Go ask ChatGPT, but you don't implement it. And finding someone to help you implement that knowledge is the key. And that's the infinite ROI, because the knowledge is there, but you're not using it. So I think finding someone to help you implement it, and who knows the art of business, not just the science, not just the how, but the art. And I think So, finding someone and taking that step is yeah, most, is the highest leverage thing I've ever done.
That's awesome to hear. I'm so happy that you also mentioned like believing in yourself, going all in, um, investing in yourself. Be the person who are capable of achieving the goal. That is so important. Act like the person you you want to be. Don't pedestalize your success and the results. Just normalize it, and you already do that. I remember your biggest goal was to make $10,000 a month, not dollars, but like even in pounds. Um, and in the beginning, you pedestalized the result. Oh, I want to be able to do this, this, and this. Now you make yeah, $14,000 a day, like it was a glass of water, and that is what makes me really proud. Is that you have become the person. It's not just about the money. For me, what truly brings me joy and happiness is seeing that you have developed yourself. You've gone through the transformation, the personal development to become that person. You have the knowledge, you have the systems, you have the mindset. So you can never, if you go broke tomorrow, you can literally make that back within a couple months because you are that person. And I think that is what people really cannot take away. They can take all the money, all the cars, houses, everything, but they cannot take your lessons and your mindset away from you. So it seems like when you go all in and you really believe in yourself, you want to do something new, make that decision. Yes, it feels uncomfortable, but that's just because you haven't learned the right patterns. Because you, bro, you know all the patterns to making 100K a month, which is why you're gonna hit that next month. And that is ultimate security and safety. Because no matter what's gonna happen, you know that you have it in you, and that's what makes me like truly proud of you and what you have done. Um, you already know that. I already told you that many times. But for the people who like maybe they want to know more about you, maybe they have some questions for you. I have some people who listen to this podcast, but also watch the video. They usually have some questions for the guest, and if people want to know more about where you are, follow your journey, maybe have a question, maybe some feedback, where can people find you?
I mean, I'm on Instagram. I mean, I love LinkedIn more, but I'm on Instagram. Literally at I'm Joe Quinn. Not very inventive. And then,
We're gonna put it on the screen.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same on LinkedIn, just Joseph Quinn. Yeah, hey, please ask me questions. I'm more than happy to answer. More than happy to reach out.
Love that, bro. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully, the viewers also thought this was insightful. I personally learned a lot, and I still do. You're a great person, and I cannot wait to see where you are in 12 months from now, bro. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm scared, but excited.
That's how it is. Like the next level is always uncomfortable because we haven't done it before. We don't know the patterns. But if I know you correctly, you're gonna um, yeah, analyze the patterns, what's happening, and until you get enough data, you make the right decision. So I have zero doubt that you're not gonna hit your goals that you have in the next 12 months. So yeah, it's gonna be really good. And also, if you want to see more just real talk like this, and you want to scale your business, um, then and if you have a question for me as well, you can go into the description, send me a DM. and I'll give you real feedback, just as I did with Joe here. But until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.